What's up, everybody? I'm Richard.
And I'm Shawn.
And today we are speaking the language of bromance. Shawn, I feel good today. I feel real good today.
Oh, Richard.
So good.
The smells in the air, the lights, the stands, the Pop Funkos. Richard, what time of year is it?
Is it Pop Funkos or Funko Pops?
I think it's Funko Pops.
All right.
We're moving, so my wife moved all of mine, so I don't know. And by move them, she probably threw them away.
I knew it.
I'm packing them, Shawn, but why is it going to that thing labeled trash? No reason.
That's why you got to put them in a box, and you got to mark the box, I don't know, like good China.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I learned that lesson twice.
But Richard, it's the time of the season where all the nerds come out. And there's tons of trailers. There's tons of news. But this year, Richard, there hasn't really been.
I was going to say tons is a bit of, tons is a bit of an overstatement, I would say.
Yeah, we're in Hall LOB, Richard, but this hall is pretty empty. I'm
not going to say there's tumbleweeds rolling through, but I think we definitely moved to a smaller venue. We're no longer... Hall LOB is no longer in, Wembley Stadium. They're like, this isn't Hall LOB, this is Hall L. We can't fit the OB on there. We're in, room 12 at the Ramada Inn.
What's funny about this, so this is the 8th time I think we've done this, Richard. Yeah. And even last year, I think there was quite a decent chunk of stuff. News, watched it.
There was news and stuff like that. I remember last year it was obviously like it was an all digital event, so you could access access ComiCon panels and stuff like that at home. You could just bring up like a stream and it would be off and running, and everybody's on their Zoom calls and everybody's on their Zoom screens and talking about all the cool stuff, which, was still fine. Still got stuff.
Yeah, I think you watched quite a bit of stuff. I think you even kind of got me you need to watch these 3 panels. I learned so much. And so I watched them and they were great. This year kind of felt more like everybody's we're kind of over this.
Yeah, I think it's, I don't know. I think it's a combination of things. I think one, obviously we're still, not completely out of the woods when it comes to pandemic. And so I think that kind of, hurt things a little bit. Number 2 is, since we now live in an age where, you can put on a panel digitally and, and just broadcast over the internet, it's a lot less. There's a lot less need to pay for everybody to fly to one location, put them up in a hotel for a week, so that way they can, sit at a table for an hour and talk about stuff. I think that's probably part of it too. I think, the fact that, last year ComiCon actually, was fairly decent considering that it was a completely digital event. That probably hurt because they're like, well, we should just do more of these. Because it's way less overhead.
Yeah, I think that's probably what my thing is too, is if you want to see, for instance, Kevin Smith with his backdrop of stuff talking about He-Man, for instance, you could have seen that 10 different places for the last 6 months.
Oh my God, you had to bring up He-Man. So
Richard, we're gonna start early, but Richard's been mad. I've been trying to talk him down.
Oh, stop it. Okay, so I'm gonna put this out here right now to the people that disparage Masters of the Universe Revelation. Motherfuckers, I have been a Kevin Smith fan for, I don't know, I'm trying to think. Let's see.
I think, was it 95, 96?
I watched Mallrats in 95.
To remember
I have been a Kevin Smith fan for, let's say,
almost 30 years. 20,
let's say 20. Let's say 25. Okay. I have been a He-Man fan since I was 5 years old.
Yeah, you love swords because of that.
I loved I have professed my love for He-Man on this show. I don't know how many times. I mean, he's been draft picks for me. You know, like, I love me some He-Man. I have been a He-Man fan longer than a lot of people have been alive. This Masters of the Universe Revelation show, it's good. It's really good. Shut the fuck up. It's good. Like, just let a thing be good. The art is amazing. Like, animation is amazing. This is the same people that did Castlevania. Castlevania was amazing. Animation is amazing. The voice acting, as good as the animation is, I will actually say, like, if I give the animation an 8, you know, if we're to rate it out of 10, if I give the animation an 8 out of 10, voice acting 10 out of 10. If not,
there's
like,
a lot of big stars.
9.9. Like it's so, like, they're so good. That voice cast is fucking stellar. You've got some old Game of Thrones actors in there. You've got Buffy in there. You've got, oh God, like, who else? Stephen Root. Stephen Root's in there as Cringer. I mean, that voice cast is just fucking top notch. And the story, I don't care what, you know, I mean, this is coming out like after, so spoilers, like, not really. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to go into spoilers. Maybe I will, but just in case, I'll throw up the spoiler tag. The story's really good. Does the story center around He-Man? No, it doesn't.
But it's just the first half too, though, right? Like, there's a whole second half of this movie.
It is. There's still a whole nother 5 episodes to go, which, I mean, I've heard are more He-Man centric, but even if they're not, who gives a fuck? Just the story's gonna go where it's gonna go, and right now the story is really fucking good. It expands on a universe that I loved as a child. It gives me, you know, it gives me backstory on characters that were in a show that I loved as a kid. I get to learn more about them. And not only do I get to learn more about them, I get to see these characters actually, like, develop and have arcs and evolve and change and give me, like, not adult in terms of, like, hey, Evelyn, I'm gonna take my shirt off and show you my nipples. Like, not that kind of adult, but, like, they give you, it's dealing with, like, grown up kind of, I don't even want to say issues, but just the themes are grown up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they know the audience is, like, in their early to late 30s, early 40s, right? So why wouldn't you make it kind of more geared towards that age group? A great cartoon. So Nickelodeon brought back the Ninja Turtles in, like, 2012, and they did a really great job with that. Like,
did they?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I haven't watched much of the rise of the TMNT. I've watched a couple episodes, not a big fan of it. I haven't given it a second try, but, you know, when the first one came out in 2012, like, I wanted to hate it. But again, with Turtles, though, like, you had the 2004 series, which I've watched pretty much all those, and it was pretty good. And so, like, you go back and watch the 80s, early 90s one, you're like, well, this is kind of horse crap compared to these other ones.
I gotcha.
So I think a lot of time with nostalgia, like, you kind of make stuff think, you kind of hold a special place in your heart for these things. But then if you go back and actually watch, I'm like, this is kind of dog crap. Like, you know, 5-year-old me, this was like, the stories that I remember are the ones I made up in my head while I'm playing with my action figures, not the actual show that they put on TV.
Well, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, you're talking to somebody that, like, when it comes to Star Wars, like, I was a big, you know, obviously, like, huge Star Wars fan. Were the last 2 Star Wars, was The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, were they good movies? No, not really. Was the story, like, not there? No, it wasn't. The story was real disjointed. The characters, I felt, especially Luke, I felt was, you know, that wasn't the Luke Skywalker that I remember. Yeah. But I watched this He-Man show. He-Man's exactly the way I fucking remember him. You know, all those characters are exactly the way I remember them, and they take that and then they're like, okay, like this is a grown-up story involving those characters. And it's like I said before, it expands on a universe. It's just good. Like, just let it be good. Calm the fuck down. I see Twitter threads and I see YouTube comments.
Oh, don't look. Yeah. Twitter threads are the worst.
Like, these people are very, very angry.
I always feel like
they're so angry that it makes me wonder, like, it makes you wonder about your own opinion. Like, am I being influenced by something? Like, am I just such a Kevin Smith fan that it's blinding me when it comes to He-Man? I thought about that and I was like, no, that's not it.
Yeah, I think Twitter's kind of like the worst place for that, because I feel like if you took a poll, like how many of the people that are like shitting on it actually watched it, or even just watched the original, it's probably pretty small.
I didn't like Yoga Hosers. I didn't like Yoga Hosers as a movie. Just, I don't know. The story just the overall story just kind of wasn't there for me. It just felt kind of, it felt very silly and
watched it
like
once.
Not silly. Yeah. I watched it once and I was like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I would rewatch this He-Man series.
Oh, nice.
It's just good. I would definitely rewatch it. In fact, I probably will rewatch it.
How do you feel about them kind of splitting it into two parts?
I
feel like that's kind of smart. I feel like we're getting close to them going to a weekly model.
I mean, I don't know. I'm torn because, like, I want the other 5. Like, I want it right now. Like, I want to see the whole thing.
Yeah. I bet you'll get more out of it though.
But I mean, that's probably like they split it up. I'm sure they split it up for 2 reasons. One is because, you know, they're working. I mean, it takes a while to draw. You know,
so they're not done. I assume they were done.
I don't think they're done.
I gotcha.
My guess is the story and the voices are done, but I'm willing to bet that the animation is not done.
That makes sense. So, because I mean, this has been like a 2-year thing, so they probably want to try to get out what they can.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that they're like, well, we'll put out 5 now, and then we'll finish the other 5 up and put that out a little bit later. But that way, you know, like, at least we have something now. That way they're not, you know, stringing it along for another, you know, 18 months.
Yeah. I kind of wish they would just do a weekly release though, because I feel like I get so much more out of them, and like I feel like I'd be this one specifically, like whenever it's like you can watch all of them at once, I'm like, well, I can watch it whenever I want. Why am I going to wait? Why am I going to watch it on a Wednesday?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, we're talking about. I mean, these are only half. I think the last episode is like $1.15, maybe, but I think all the other ones are only 30 minutes.
Pretty
30,
quick
45 minutes. I mean, Castlevania was the same way. I think Castlevania there was only like 5 or 6 episodes, but each episode was only like 45 minutes.
I gotcha. Yeah, I do kind of like that. It seems like Disney Plus is really good about that. And it seems like Netflix is starting to do that too, where it's like, well, we don't have to make an hour-long episode or a 52-minute episode. Just let it be what it is.
Right. And again, like, it takes I would say it probably takes a lot more. It takes a lot more time to draw 45 minutes worth of content than it is to put up a camera and shoot 45 minutes worth of content.
Yeah, probably. I don't know the exact. I never really studied that too close, but I bet you could get something out quicker with film.
Yeah.
Unless you're a perfectionist kind of thing, then then you probably run into issues. But like you could do something that's good enough. But like animation, yeah, it just takes so much time.
Yeah, I feel like it takes a lot of time to get, especially, you know, like I said, like there's a lot, like there's a lot going on in those episodes. Like that's a lot of animation to do.
Well, I guess
it's
like
not just
the Scott Mosier Grinch
running around.
Yeah, like the Scott Mosier Grinch, I think that was a 2-year project.
Something like that, yeah. But yeah, it's good. Calm the fuck down. Like,
all right, I won't make another account.
Yeah, like people are fucking angry, and I don't understand it at all. It makes no sense to me.
Have you talked to anybody like face to face that's angry about it, or has it just been what you've seen on the internet?
I mean, I don't know that many people that have watched it.
Was your son? Is your son like
on the internet?
Have you asked your son or anything, or has he been like angrily typing away?
I don't think he's watched them all. I think maybe he watched the first episode, but I think that's about as far as he got.
Yeah, because I asked my son if he wanted to watch it, and he said he already did, and he's been in the bathroom just banging away on the computer. I don't know what he's doing in there. This isn't the He-Man I grew up with. Yeah. Hey, bud, you're 5 years old. This is the He-Man you're growing up with.
This is the He-Man you grew up with. Say hello.
No, I'm kind of like, I've always thought about like, you know, like I think one like talking on a podcast or something like that, it's just kind of like you're just kind of shooting the shit with it. But like to go through the effort of creating an account, and because like I guess right now it's being review bombed, which I didn't even know was a thing.
But I didn't know that was a thing either.
Yeah. To me, like I'm kind of curious, like, is this a really smart like Netflix ploy? Like, are they bombing themselves to get all this extra press?
I think the crazy thing is like there's such a and I'm not okay, like I am 100% not saying that a you know a established movie / television critic is, I'm not saying that their opinion is more valid or better than a random comment on the internet. I don't think that. But there is such a disparity between the critic score and the user score, like on Rotten Tomatoes. Like that show right now is like what, like a 94, 97% critic
like
rating.
We're just looking at it.
Like critics love it, but apparently, you know, a very vocal population of the internet does not.
Yeah, you can usually like you'll sometimes see like big disparities, like movies that like the audience like genuinely enjoys. Sometimes you'll see it like at a 70 or 80, and then like the critics will be like, "This is the worst thing in cinema," and give it a 20. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know if usually it's not like a 70-point swing. So I think it was like we just looked, it was like 30 and 97.
Yeah, it makes no sense to me. I just don't get it. Number one, I don't get how you can dislike something that much.
Yeah, I have a tough time
kind of posting YouTube videos and fucking Twitter feeds and like all this fucking nonsense about it. Like I don't have that kind of hatred in my heart for anything. Maybe Nazis. That would be about it.
Well, I mean, like we talked earlier, Michael Bay's up there for me for sure. But I don't even have anything like Masters of the Universe.
Like Nazis, slightly under Nazis, Michael Bay.
But like I was trying, like, because I was never a big Masters of the Universe fan, but it's got a universe. It's Masters of the Universe. There's lots of characters.
Yeah,
and so I don't even think like the big complaint I've been seeing is like, well, there's no He-Man in this. And I'm like, well, I mean, if like I went to watch the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and there's no Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I'd be upset. But it depends on who it is. Like a Casey Jones and an April show, like I'd be down for that. That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it would be kind of cool.
Yeah. I've always said like
they're like fucking like road tripping and doing, or maybe, oh my God, like maybe like what if like one of the turtles like runs off and then Casey Jones and April like go on this fucking like road trip looking for him.
They kind of do that in one of the comics.
Like fighting biker gangs and shit like that.
The comic, so the Rat King in the new comic is like a basically they're like old, not really gods, but old like spirit kind of things.
Okay.
I guess they're kind of gods. There's like a bunch of different like family member god type things, and the Rat King is like the god of mischief almost. Okay. And so he's following them along on this trail, like kind of like just screwing with them the whole time and messing with them. So like I'd be down for that. Like I feel like Turtles could be its own like universe. They could do a TMNT universe movie, and I'd be down. Yeah,
I would say that there's enough characters, both good and bad, that you could expand it.
Because that Casey Jones one and like the Rat King, if you did that, totally could be a horror movie.
And you don't even have to have like, maybe you have like one turtle in it.
Yeah, well, I don't even think you need that. Like maybe in the beginning or something, but. But see,
even in the comics, like you were like what was that last Turtles comic series that you read that just had, it was one turtle?
Oh, the Last Ronin.
Yeah, Last Ronin. Yeah,
I'm
it was
on,
one turtle. There was just one turtle in that comic.
Issue 3. It's pretty good so far too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Casey Jones isn't even in it. He's gone. Spoilers. But see, like that, like we're talking like yeah, there's no turtles, but I can still see something that I would enjoy. And I know, was the original show called He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, or was it just Masters of the Universe?
The original show, I think, was called He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
So like this, they're not even bearing the lead. They're telling you up front, like, no, we took out the He-Man and it's all of this.
Yeah, they're calling it Masters of the Universe Revelation.
Which I'd be down for, because if there's more characters in a show that you get to see like spin-offs of, like I'm down for that. Like I want to see that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like I would like this show takes like a lot of the lesser known characters, a lot of the lesser known villains, and makes them cool.
Oh yeah.
And also takes some of the not so likable some of the not so likable good guys, like Orko, for example, because I mean, like I remember like there used to be kind of a general consensus that Orko was like kind of a shitty character. They're like, he just fucking wanders around and like acts like an idiot.
Is that the dude that has like, you can only see his eyes?
Yeah, he does like magic spells, but they always turn out wrong.
Yeah. Is he badass in this one?
Yes. But also, not only is he badass, but he's kind of like the fucking like in a way, he's like an emotional anchor. Like so spoilers on this. There's this one bit where he talks about where he's on a boat and they're sailing through this, they're sailing through like across an ocean or something like that. And he's on this boat and he's talking about, he's like, you know, like I was with He-Man like every step of the way. And like we went on so many adventures that I don't even remember them all. And he's like, that's kind of that, you know, like when I think about it, like it's sad. It's sad that I don't remember, you know, like because when the adventure's done, like the memory's all you have. And and a lot of those are gone for me. So, and you're just like, oh my God, like, this is actually like giving me feels.
Yeah. And you know what? Like we were talking earlier, like that is ideal for the people that watch that as a kid, because all you have of the battles that you had with your, you know, figures are just memories that you probably don't even remember.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that was the intention, but that's basically like you're talking about your childhood.
Yeah. He's you know, he's basically like I've been on so many adventures with He-Man and Man-at-Arms and Teela and everybody.
He's like, we don't need He-Man in this series. Get him out of here.
He's like, there's people, you know, he was like, there's people that I can barely remember anymore that I, you know, fought with side by side and I barely remember them now. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, like, what is this show right now? I know this podcast episode was not supposed to be fucking me gushing over He-Man, but like I felt a need to address.
Yeah, well, I know I had it to talk about, like to review it. Maybe we still will review like once it's all done. But I mean, it's kind of been like big in the news. And the reason I brought up the whole part of the beginning is because Kevin did do a Masters of the Universe panel. But there's been like 6 or 7 of them in the last 6 months where it's him being interviewed about the show. This is probably
the other thing. I just found this today. He posted on YouTube. He posted a writer's commentary for every episode, so you can bring up the YouTube video, play it with the episode, and basically have like a running writer's commentary with every single episode so far.
Yeah, I heard that they were doing that. So it's going to be him and the writer.
I haven't done it, but I was listening to the commentary on the first. I wasn't playing the episode. I was listening to the commentary on the first episode. It's really cool.
I feel like that stuff's so smart, because that's basically like if you're a young like person who wants to be a writer, like those are the things you can kind of watch to kind of get the inside baseball type stuff.
Yeah,
like the behind the curtain, like what is it? Why were they doing these things?
Yeah. Why are these characters acting the way they're acting?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's again, it's kind of like the internet, and I feel like there's always got to be anger about something.
Yeah.
And then there's anger over the anger, and then we got to blow it up to make it bigger than probably what it needs to be.
It definitely it definitely turns into a snake eating its own tail.
Yeah, very much.
It's definitely like some people talk about like, oh, you know, like something happens and then it grows organically. But sometimes especially when it comes to like, oh, let's all hate on this show together. Let's pile. Everybody in the pile. Get in the pile. Like it definitely turns into like something that feeds on itself and then becomes almost a caricature. Like is saying that, hey, there isn't a lot of He-Man in this show, is that a valid criticism? I mean, yeah, if that's how you feel, like, yeah, that's a perfectly valid argument to make. But now it's at the point where when you look at some of, like I said, like some of these YouTube comments or Twitter threads, like it's become like a caricature on itself, where it's like Kevin Smith has betrayed He-Man and God and his family, and I'm like, stop.
But even then, like,
it's not that serious, bud.
Yeah, but so all the characters that they're building in this, besides like it's not focused on He-Man, but there's still characters in the universe. It's not like they brought somebody brand new and is like, this is Barbara, and you're gonna fucking watch her. And she's not even, it's Masters of the Universe, but you know what she does? She does gymnastics. Yeah, watch it.
She does it's called Masters of the Universe, and it's just like, and the whole series is about a girl named Barbara who isn't even on Eternia. She's on like the moon of Eternia, and she's just trying to get through high school.
Yeah, and then you wake up and it was all a dream.
Yeah, and that's the show.
Yeah, that's not what that was. Masters of the Universe Revolution is like, hey, we're going to focus on some of these other characters, which is smart, because if you make it all about He-Man at the beginning, then like it's like, oh yeah, they did some cool stuff with other characters, but it's all about fucking He-Man. They're forcing you to learn about these other characters for the first 5 episodes, and then you're going to get him back.
Yeah. Yeah, like what if He-Man showed, like, again, like you said, like we're just talking about the first 5 episodes. Like what if the next 5 episodes it's fucking like just He-Man showing up and punching people in the face?
Yeah, they're like, here you go, nerds.
Yeah. Where's your fucking internet comments now?
Yeah, I always feel like that stuff, it'll kind of run its course. And like I don't ever feel like it's coordinated, but it's just a bunch of people who are like bored and just like to kind of watch the world burn type of thing.
I guess, man. Like
it's more of a, I guess what I really want to say is it's more of like they want to feel like they're part of something. It's like, yeah, we're part of this hating of Masters of the Universe.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, you should like pick a different hill to fucking die on, man. Well, the problem is not that serious.
Yeah, but the problem is it's not even really a hill to die on. It's 15 minutes to create an account on Rotten Tomatoes and put a 1 star.
And the thing is like if the show was genuinely bad, I mean, you could I guess like you could say, and the show was bad too, but like leveling all this fucking vitriol on something that overall, like it's a good show. It's good.
Yeah.
So it seems fucking ridiculous to level this kind of vitriol on something that isn't bad.
But even then, like if it is
everybody
bad,
hated on the last season of Game of Thrones, and we're all like, I mean, maybe that's a little much, but like I get your point. Like, yeah, it's bad, but like, I don't think it ruined. It didn't ruin the last season of Game of Thrones. Didn't ruin the other fucking 7 seasons.
No, I mean,
it was bad.
Yeah, but like that was more of like when you realize that the people weren't even trying at that point.
Yeah,
like with this, they're still trying. They're trying to make a good product,
and they're made a good product.
Yeah, but even then, like if it is bad, like it's going to show, and people aren't going to watch it, so they're not going to make any more.
Exactly.
And Netflix is way too smart to like that Rotten Tomatoes thing. Like Netflix isn't looking at it and be like, well, I guess this is a fucking bomb. We're not going to release the next 5 episodes. They're like, no, listen, this is our top show, and the algorithm thing we do that we don't show anybody. Like, yeah, we're good. We're going to make 3 more seasons.
Yeah. I don't give a fuck what, Pussy Smasher 69 had to say.
Well, it'd be
He doesn't run Netflix. I run Netflix. Fuck Pussy Smasher.
It'd be Pussy Smasher 69, 69, 69, 69 dash 69.
And the S's in pussy are 3s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, how do you know about my account?
Because I read the comments. We have to talk later.
Oh, damn it. I haven't even watched it yet.
Internet busted.
But I guess since we're kind of talking about ComiCon, I went through a couple of trailers and stuff. Again, not a lot. We already talked a little bit about the future of ComiCon. Maybe we'll touch a little bit more on it at the end. I guess the first trailer that I watched is a Netflix movie, and it is the prequel to Army of the Dead.
I did see this.
Called Army of the Thieves.
Yes. Which, okay, so from what I could tell, the Safecracker is the only character that's in both, correct?
That's the gist that I got, yeah.
Okay. I didn't know because there were a bunch of people in that trailer. I honestly don't remember if people that were in that trailer were also in Army of the Dead.
Nah, the gist that I got that he was the only one. And I guess the idea, it's kind of interesting because I feel like it's going to take place in the zombie apocalypse, but it's all happening in America.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the impression I got as well.
So I feel like this is just Zack Snyder's way, like, you know what? I want to make all these weird movies, and this is giving him the opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
Because I think he signed like a pretty big deal with Netflix. Like they get first look at all of his ideas or all of his movies.
I mean, I'm fine with it. I mean, am I going to watch it? Yeah, I'm probably going to watch it. Am I going to watch it more than once? I don't know. I mean, it depends on how good it is, but I mean, the trailer looked fine. I mean, it looked fine. It didn't blow me away, but it looked fine.
Yeah, I'm up for it. I'm trying to figure out, like, it's one of those, like, it might have a cool theme to it, or it could just be kind of a movie. You know what I mean?
I liked his character in Army of the Dead. So, I mean, that performance garnered a lot of goodwill. I guess I'll say this. Would you, if you hadn't watched Army of the Dead, would you feel the same way about this trailer?
If I didn't know it had zombies in it, or at least took place in a zombie apocalypse, probably not.
Me too. So I guess the trailer did exactly what it meant to do by saying, hey, you really like this character in Army of the Dead, right? Well, guess what? Here's a whole movie with him in it. And then you're like, all right, okay.
Did you ever go see Logan Lucky?
I did not.
Okay. Do you remember that movie though? Or like,
I 100% do not.
It's got Adam Driver in it, which I really like. It's got Channing Tatum in it too. But the whole idea is that like these group of guys go and it's basically like Ocean's 11, but instead of robbing a casino, they rob Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Okay.
And that's kind of the feel like I'm going to get for this movie. Like Logan Lucky was actually really good. And it was one of those that I just went, it's like nothing going on. It's like, I'll just go watch this. And I feel like Army of Thieves could do the same thing. Like you could get
the last heist-ish movie that I remember seeing that I kind of liked was Baby Driver.
I never watched that. Was it good?
The first like 20 minutes are really good, and then the rest of the movie is kind of a repeat of the first 20 minutes, but not as good.
Is that
so? I would say if you watch the first like 20 minutes, you'd be like, oh, this is going to be a really good movie. And then by the end of it, you're like, oh, it's okay.
Did the dude that wrote The West Wing, did he write that movie?
No. Who did do that movie? I thought it was, shit. Who's the guy that did Shaun of the Dead?
Edgar
Wright. I thought Edgar Wright did that movie.
Yeah.
I think.
He directed it for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, first 20 minutes, amazing. Rest of the movie, not as amazing. So there you go. There's my 2-cent review.
So the only other movie I guess I saw two other movies on there. Shudder, I guess, released a trailer for a movie they're calling Slasher Flesh and Blood. Did you get a chance to see that at all?
I did not. I know absolutely nothing about this.
It looked like a really kind of rough, like, network television series.
Okay.
But it was essentially, the way I broke it down, is like rich family Hunger Games. So, like,
all right,
I like the premise, but I don't think they're going to execute it very well. But the idea is that, like, this family is on this island that I guess they own.
I feel like you should write for movie posters, because you put that on a movie poster, be like, yeah, I'll go see that.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of sold me until I saw more of the trailer. But, like, this family goes to this island, and, like, the rich, patriarchy person is like, I'm about to die, but it's time we brought back our grand tradition of combat games, and whoever wins gets gets all my wealth.
Okay.
And it's not so much like combat specific, like to the death, but it's like they have to do games. It's like, kind of like Survivor.
Yeah.
But apparently somebody takes it to the extreme and starts killing people one by one.
Oh, shit.
But I kind of like the idea more of like some old rich dude, like in the family, is like, listen, you guys all got to kill each other, and whoever wins gets my money.
2 enter 1 leave.
But it's on Shudder, so I think Shudder's trying to. And again, I don't think this is a trailer that would stick out if we saw a bunch of Marvel movies or DC movie trailers. But there just wasn't much.
There is actually. I'm surprised. There's one thing you didn't lead off with, because I felt like it was I don't know if it had anything so much to do with ComiCon, but it definitely released in that window, which made me feel like it landed in that purview. Was a new trailer for Dune.
I didn't watch it. I didn't see it.
Oh my goodness! It's Shawn. Did you? You didn't watch.
I've never seen Dune.
You never saw Dune. For anybody that hasn't seen Dune, it is on HBO Max right meow. You can watch HBO Max. You can get on HBO Max. You can watch Dune right meow. And I'm actually half tempted to do this. I might actually dig into the book. I started reading the book a long time ago when I was knee high to a grasshopper, Shawn, and I never finished it.
Was it a good book?
It was a good book, but it is a very long book. You can kill somebody with that book.
So is the new movie, is it a sequel, a prequel, or a reboot?
It is a remake.
Oh, okay.
It is a remake of the, I would say it's a remake of the original film.
Oh, I'm always on the fence on those. Sometimes it's okay. Sometimes it's just like Last House on the Left. Like they kind of did a remake of that.
Okay. Here's the other thing I will say is that, from what I understand, and I didn't know this going in, but from what I understand, that this is actually being broken. Like the book, this is actually being broken up into 2 movies.
Okay.
So the Dune that you will watch on HBO Max is essentially the book, but very, very, very abridged. This, I think, is going, since they're breaking it up into 2, it's going to be a lot more, but also it's going to have very similar scenes to what you saw in the original film. So
the original in this, are they pretty like
David Lynch did the original? This was one of David Lynch's this is the seminal David Lynch movie.
Are they pretty loyal to the book though? Like, do they follow the book pretty close?
I honestly don't remember, because like I said, like I was probably like 13 or 14 when I tried to read the book, and that was right around the time I started liking girls. So then I was like, I can't be seen with this fucking book. I'll never have a girlfriend that way. Was that Frank Herbert? No, it's Pumping Iron.
It's a Playgirl. Doesn't have dudes in it? No, because it has girl in the name.
Yeah. Right? That's how this works, right? So yeah, I think I maybe got 100 pages in, and again, like this was 20 plus years ago.
Ooh, you should do the audiobook.
Maybe, but after watching that trailer, not only do I want to rewatch the original movie before I watch this, I think I might actually like dip back into the book and try and finish the book.
I'll need to watch that trailer because we know I like books. So
amazing fucking cast. I'm not a big Timothée Chalamet fan, but
Dave Bautista's in it.
Bautista's in it.
Jason Momoa's in it too, isn't he?
Jason Momoa's in it. Josh Brolin, Oscar Isaac. Dave Bautista is actually a bad guy in this one.
Ooh.
He's playing one of the Harkonnens.
Well, this has been like done and in the can because it was supposed to come out last year. What didn't it? Like last Christmas?
I think it. Well, no, I think it was slated for like summertime this year, but it got pushed back to. It will be out, I think November. Okay, December of this year.
Because I thought I heard that they had some hiccups on like Lionsgate, or somebody was like, wait, we didn't agree to this going straight to streaming.
No, that was the director. The director was the one that had the issue with it.
Okay. Well, I thought there was a couple I thought there was some like legal stuff that kind of felt like it might get pushed.
Maybe, I don't know. But it is this movie is going to release in theaters and on HBO Max same day. Now, I might actually go to the theater for this one.
That's what I was just going to ask you. Is this going to be your first one to get out and see?
I think I would probably actually go to a theater for this one.
So we talked a little bit about Black Widow kind of in a future episode, but like I thought Black Widow would be another one that would get me out, and I wasn't able to find like the time to do it. Yeah, I'm a person that loves going to the movies, right? Like I was a two movie a month kind of person, like seeing anything.
Yeah.
And even then it was just like, man, it's really convenient just to play this right here. So I'm kind of worried that if this keeps up, like, because I thought like once the movies open up, I'll be going back all the time. Kind of just like the thought, not like I'm scared or anything, but just more of like, man, it's just super convenient just to
see. That's interesting because I would say that I'm more inclined to watch something from home if I have that preference, just because it is way cheaper for me to pay an extra $30 and watch a movie here than it is to take my family to a movie theater. If I take my family to a movie theater, I'm easily in like $60 to $80 and that at least.
No, and I'm fine with us keeping up the thing we talked about where we tell your family that movie theaters are closed forever. They're never coming back. I'm fine with keeping that up.
They're all closed.
Dad, why do you smell like movie theater popcorn? Oh, that's my new cologne.
Cara-soda is more like Cara-notice, am I right?
So there's only like a couple things that really got me hyped. Actually, there's only one. It was the brand new trailer that just came out. They had some sneak peeks, but they had like a really good full trailer for it. And this was something, Richard, when the final season of this show came out and it ended, people weren't happy with it. Like Game of Thrones-esque, not happy.
Really? I didn't realize it was on that level.
Yeah, people were like, this makes no sense.
Oh, wow.
What are you doing? You ruined the whole series. Richard, Dexter, New Blood. They dropped the trailer for it.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about something different.
No, Dexter, New Blood. So when that final season came out, people were like, man, this was horrible. It makes no sense. The actors in the show and stuff were in the same boat. Like this, like what the hell was this even going on?
Yeah, yeah.
And so we're getting it back, and they do a really good job of, I think, getting you interested in this. And I feel like it's going to go kind of back in some of the early seasons of Dexter. They really kind of tied his like serial killer, dark passenger stuff to like addiction. And you really kind of see that here. Like he's got a new name. He's run this outdoor shop. He's even kind of talking about how he's scared of blood. And it's kind of more of that, like you see him see some blood somewhere, and it's just like an addict, right? Like, you know, it's like you can't just have a little bit. Yeah. And so I feel like it's one of those things that's going to ramp from 0 to 100 super quick. Like first episode 1 or 2, you're probably going to be like, oh, he's living this clean life. He's doing all this. And then he's going to accidentally like give somebody a paper cut, and he's going to stab him in the heart.
Yeah, I did not I think we talked about this before. I did not watch Dexter.
I think it's on Netflix. You should try to watch that.
I think it is. I think it is on Netflix. I think you're right.
It would take a little bit to get through. Season 1's good. Season 2's not bad. 3's kind of slow. 4's really good though. I think it's 4.
Okay. On the television side, honestly, the only thing that kind of like got any interest for me was actually there were a couple. The one I was kind of curious about. The other I was like, oh, okay, that's good. That's good. That one would have been a teaser for the new season of Doctor Who.
I saw that. I haven't watched really much, if any, but I saw that popped up. What did you finish the last season of Doctor Who? Or
I did, and actually, so again, I've said this before that every doctor, like you have to, like every time there's a new doctor, it's almost like you have to have like at least half a season to get used to it.
Yeah, I could see that.
Where you kind of like, okay, all right, I'm comfortable with you now. Like now I can watch the show in earnest. But I would say that the last season with Jodie Whittaker was really good.
Was that her first season too?
That would be her second.
Okay,
this will be her third.
Okay,
correct. Last season was really good. Last season kind of explored a lot more of the Doctor's own backstory.
Oh, cool.
In a way.
That's always one of those things that rides the line. Like when you start like, you know, like before,
well, again, like the whole show deals with time travel.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, like there's a like I feel like when you're trying to come up with like seasonal arcs for that show, especially a show that's been around for 50 plus years, like that's a hard needle to thread.
Yeah. Well, I feel like whenever you start to expose like, well, this is how this happened, or this is why this works. And it's like, oh, well, that's stupid. It was a rodent in a treadmill. Like that makes no sense. Great. You ruined the whole thing for me. I'm going to give this a 1 on Rotten Tomatoes.
So I'm actually like, I wasn't super hyped for the first season with Jodie Whittaker. The second season, I was still kind of on the fence. Actually, it took me probably like that whole first season of Jodie Whittaker for me to kind of get back into the swing of it. So I would say that this is the first time I'm like, all right, like I'm here. I'm ready. I'm ready for a new season of Doctor Who with Jodie Whittaker as Doctor. Like I'm sold. Give it to me.
Do we know, is this going to be her last season as a Doctor, or do they tell you that up front?
Oh, I actually don't know. I think I heard that this might be her last one. I don't know. I haven't been following, so I'm not 100%.
Just because they keep it going for 3 seasons, I hope they do another female Doctor.
Yeah, I'd be okay. I'd be fine with that. The other show that kind of popped up for me that I was kind of interested in, looked looked like Sci-Fi was coming out with a Day of the Dead show.
Oh, I didn't see this.
Yeah. I gotta find it. But yeah, it looked like Sci-Fi was coming out with a show that they're kind of they're basically like billing it as almost like a Romero tribute. Like, this is based on Romero, the guy that made fucking zombie movies. Oh my God. He's fucking amazing.
10 episodes, and the synopsis is basically 6 strangers trying to survive the first 24 hours of an undead invasion.
Yeah.
Nice. That'd be cool if they did like seasons of that, like really dove into that kind of stuff. So like they would do like a Dawn of the Dead series.
if they did like a Day of the Dead about 6 people, and then like next season did it about a completely different 6 people.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be sweet. I always because I'm a big fan of like vignette style, and if you like can do that, because The Walking Dead tried to do this, but they didn't do it very well. But where you almost have like these 2 shows that can kind of like cross over slightly, where you're like, that's an Easter egg or that's this, but they don't rely heavily on each other, or it's not overhanded that oh yeah, here it is. Here's the other show with the sign saying other show.
Like you don't need to Marvelify everything. Like just, you can like put some little, you can drop a little, a seed here and there, but like everything doesn't need to be like super connected to be connected.
Yeah. I always think of like one of the best ones I saw was the Buffy Angel, where they would be like talking about this thing in Buffy and like, oh, back in this, Chinese rebellion, this happened. And then in Angel, you see it, and you just have to pay attention slightly. Be like, did that. That's what they were talking about. That's cool.
Yeah, it's like a mid-season. Yeah, they did that as like a mid-season kind of crossover thing.
Yeah,
where like they were almost like they were sharing flashbacks.
Yeah,
but the flashbacks were actually filmed from different perspectives because in one show you were getting it from one person's point of view.
Yeah.
And in the other show, you were getting it from a completely different person's point of view. So you were getting it was the same lines, but it was shot differently because it was, I
always like that.
Yeah.
But like in this, what you could do, like, let's say somebody has an interaction with a zombie or they die or something, and they drop something of value. And then in the other show, they walk by and they pick it up and be like, oh, looks like this person had a bad day, or maybe not even say anything like specific. It just kind of
bad Day of the Dead.
Oh,
he said it. He said the thing.
I thought with the sci-fi you're talking about, you're going to talk about the new Chucky TV series that they're making.
I saw that. I saw that they were making it. I didn't watch anything of it. I'm just, I was never that into the Child's Play movies.
It interests me. I feel like, again, it's one of those things that they've kind of like parodied themselves over it.
Mm-hmm.
But like this one feels like it could get kind of really creepy because I don't know if it ties to any of the movies at all. But essentially it has a very like Carrie meets Christine. So like this kid who's kind of bullied, who doesn't really have friends, ends up getting the Chucky doll. And then the Chucky doll is like, man, all these people are mean. Let's fucking kill them.
Yeah.
In the trailer, there's a scene where this little girl has Chucky, and he's nice to her for some reason. And, he's saying all of his like, I'm going to kill this person or whatever. And they're laying in bed. And Chucky's like, hey, I'm going to go kill your sister. You want to come? And the little girl's like, no, I'm tired. And he's like, well, was it you snooze, you lose? It's like, he just fucking talked about killing his kid's sister. This looks fucking weird.
Yeah.
There's a scene in the trailer too, Richard, just to show what it's going to be about. The kid's like in high school. He's carrying around this Chucky doll, which, if a kid's carrying around a doll in high school, like, probably going to get made fun of.
Probably.
And he was too scared to do a dissection. And so like the teacher looks away and Chucky does it for him, like cuts it all in half and stabs the heart with a scalpel. And the teacher's like, whoa, Brad, not like that. Like,
jeez, somebody's a little overzealous.
Oh, man.
The other thing I noticed is it seemed like ComiCon this year was the house that fucking The Walking Dead built. Or is that just me?
Yeah, I only watched The Walking Dead, the final season trailer. I need to catch up. I haven't watched for like 2 or 3 seasons. And to me,
there was a trailer for the final season of Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, and Walking Dead World Beyond.
Yeah, because that's like the kids,
which I didn't even know existed.
Yeah, it's like kids like post, I think, a lot of the Walking Dead stuff. Apparently, Fear the Walking Dead, like there was some kind of nuke or something dropped. It looks like they're like a post-apocalyptic like wasteland.
Oh, all right.
And the Walking Dead season's kind of following the comic to an extent, where they're going to the Commonwealth, which was like a gated in kind of thing. But Walking Dead always does this. They'll put out a trailer and it looks really, really good. It's like, man, I need to get back and watching that. And I watched the first episode. I'm like, no.
I remember like I was super into it, and then season 4, I think I just kind of like trailed off, and then I just never went back.
Yeah.
Am I interested to go back? Not really.
It's one of the, because there's so many episodes too, and it's like a lot of filler stuff.
Yeah, I kind of get that impression.
And plus, since I've gotten a really satisfying ending with the actual comic books, like it ended like really well. that I feel like I'm done with it. Like I've gotten my finish to the story how I enjoyed it. So there's not really a reason for me to dive back into something that's going to make me hate it.
Okay.
And I'll say this on record too. I feel like Walking Dead is like the Moneyball version of TV shows. Where like once somebody got to a point where it's like they're going to demand money, it's like, oh, well, they're dead. It's like, oh, well, do you want more money or do you want to stay on the show or do you want to die? Oh, you want more money? Okay, you're dead. We traded you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. There was also a date announcement for the final season of Lucifer on Netflix. I don't know. Did you watch it at all? I did not.
We watched like the first 3 or 4 episodes like 3 years ago because Tiff was like, we should watch a show together. And she picked that and watched it. And then she's like, I'm going to watch New Girl instead. I'm like, all right, fine with me. Not watching either.
I never got super into it. Like occasionally I'll watch a clip of it like on YouTube or something like that. And I'm like, well, it looks good. That looks kind of funny. But it never like pulls me in enough to be like, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch this show.
Yeah. I still feel like I'm at the point where it's just like content overload. Like the Chucky thing, probably not going to watch it even though it looks interesting. Yeah. The Dawn of the Dead one I may watch. I'm going to watch the trailer for that after this.
Okay.
And like Dexter, I'll probably get, is that on Showtime? I think it's on Showtime.
I think it is, yeah.
I'll probably get that for the month or two when it comes on and watch it week to week.
All right.
But not watching Masters of the Universe because there's not enough He-Man for me.
Here we go. All right, for another 30 minutes, here we go.
No, I'm going to watch He-Man. Like I already said, I'm going to get him downloaded and watch at some point. But yeah, I mean, this year it was a little disappointing. Like, we talked about like Marvel's got the Disney D23, so they're not going to release anything big on this anymore. Yeah. DC has the Fandom.
DC has their Fandom that they did last year.
I haven't heard if they're doing that this year though.
I haven't either, but like that Fandom last year actually I thought went really well.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
They were like, here's some Suicide Squad stuff and here's some Batman video game stuff and here's a show about this and here's The Rock and he's going to talk about Black Adam,
which I like because it was more of like a presentation. Like you're like, oh, I'm going to see all the DC stuff, and it's like, here's the trailer, here's 5 minutes of people talking, here's the trailer, here's 5 minutes of people talking.
Well, yeah, and it wasn't just one thing. It was like, here's us talking about a movie, and now here's us talking about a game, and now here's us talking about a television show, and now we're going to talk about this run of comics. Oh, now we're back to TV, and we're going to talk about Sandman, and now we're going to, it gave you like this buffet of DC stuff, and you were able to kind of pick and choose what you wanted to see and what you didn't want to see.
Yeah, I think Netflix is doing something this year too in the next week or two. So they got their own thing.
Yeah.
So
with Marvel, it seems like it's very much like, I mean, the last Marvel thing I remember, it's like, okay, here's a bunch of movies here's a list of the movies that you're gonna see over the next fucking 10 years. Or no, I think it was like 5 years.
5 years, yeah.
Yeah. And then separately they were like, oh, here's all the Disney Plus shows that you're going to see over the next 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
DC was like, here's everything for now until fucking eternity.
So do you think we're going to get back to the days where like San Diego Comic-Con was where these trailers were released? Or do you think that they've discovered that in the age of the internet, it's going to leak? Why put all the effort into a Hall H when you can just do it here?
Well, I think it's why put all the effort into a Hall H when we could possibly be overshadowed by or out-marketed by something else, or even not even out-marketed, but just like something else, draws more eyes. Like, let's do our own thing. Let's do it on a completely different day.
Yeah.
So that way we own
the day.
We own the news cycle for a weekend, rather than like, let's throw our stuff in the ring with 10 other things. And I mean, like if if Marvel did like a big panel at Comic-Con, like would it probably be the talk of the con? Yeah, more than likely. But I think that they've come to the conclusion like, hey, let's just do it on a completely different day, and then we could just own that day, own that weekend, no matter what. Like nothing is going to, outpace us.
Yeah. Put that $10 million budget into our own thing instead of $10 million into going to Comic-Con and setting up the booths and doing the panels and paying people and travel. And
yeah.
Which is kind of sad because it was nice to get like that nerd Christmas buffet of stuff.
It was, but I will say that I don't know. I'm kind of torn because like, what does this mean? What does this mean for the con? I think it means that, the con probably gets scaled back a little bit, but I mean, there was a time before, the MCU that San Diego Comic-Con existed, and there will be a time after. So, I mean, Comic-Con's still going to be around, and I'm glad. And what was always the big complaint when it came to like Comic-Con? It's like, oh, it's not about the comics anymore. Now it's all about people and all these fucking movie stars that show up and do these panels. Like, yeah, I mean, so like, are you gonna be happy now that that's not happening? I mean, maybe not. I don't know. I think that, like I said, like, does this mean like San Diego Comic-Con is dead? Of course not. Of course not. It's still even before, DC showed up with like, here's a Batman movie. And even before, Marvel showed up with like, here's an Iron Man movie. Like it was still the largest comic book convention in the world.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they'll be fine. They might have some few, less dollars to cry into, but they'll be okay.
Yeah, they'll scale it down and get somewhere. But that's all I really saw for Comic-Con. Like I said, we're Hall L this year because we're a little low on the OB. But did you have any Richard's closing thoughts? Or anything else you want to talk about?
I think I closed it up right there. Like Comic-Con isn't dead. It's not going away. Like, you don't need to worry. It was the biggest comic book convention in the world, and it still will be the biggest comic book convention in the world. Like, Disney, can put on a Marvel event where they can showcase all their stuff, and that's fine. And, I mean, maybe, if you're somebody that, like, wants to go and just, peruse some booths and buy some really cool statues and some really awesome fucking books and really cool art, like all that stuff's still there. It's there and it still looks amazing. So don't write Comic-Con off, because even if it's bigger or smaller, like it's still, even if it's bigger or if it's smaller, it's still big. So don't write it off completely.
All right. Well, as they're starting to usher us out of Hall L, they said, hey, we're cutting back this year. You don't get a full hour and a half. Let me do a little bit of housekeeping.
Yeah. And they're like, we didn't do the first half hour with lights on, so we just talked about He-Man.
Let me do a little bit of housekeeping. Visit our website. We're at languageofbros.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at languageofbro. Email us at bros@languageofbros.com. You can also find us on the Good Pods app. We got our own group there, so check that out. And as always, if you want to take that big leap forward, you can join our Patreon account, like our two favorite patrons of all time, Wendy and Aaron. And I want to thank Aaron specifically, too, and Wendy even more so. Aaron's continuing to support us. Wendy's continuing to support us for such a long time. We really, really appreciate it. It means the world to us.
You two will always have a front seat, whether the lights are on or not. Perfect. Still talk to you. I bet you guys didn't hate on He-Man.
All right. Well, is there anything else before I close her out?
No, I'm good, sir.
All right. Well, that's all the Bromance we have for this show. I'm Shawn.
And I'm Richard.
And remember, don't be a why. Be a why not. Richard, does he say, I have the power at least?
He does.
Okay. Because that goes,
Episode
I got the
1.
power.
No, that's not how that happens.
I got the power.
Nope. Time to start. Oh, see, now we have to start a whole nother podcast.
No. Recording.